Brought to you by Penguin.
Notes from Walnut Tree Farm by Roger Deakin. Edited and with a foreword by Alison Hastie and Terence Blacker. Read by Roy Mcmillan. Foreword. For the last 6 years of his life, Roger Deakin kept a record of his daily life, work, thoughts and memories. 45 lined exercise books were completed in his distinctive, bold handwriting. Each was numbered and paginated with a table of contents carefully listed on the cover. The entries themselves were altogether freer. Spontaneous, playful, impassioned, and sometimes experimental, they were Roger's everyday observations and reflected the events of his inner and outer life as they happened. Some of the entries were research notes for Wildwood, the book he was writing at the time, or for one of his radio programs, while others were written during his travels in Australia or Eastern Europe. Most of the content, though, related to his life at Walnut Tree Farm, the extraordinary, much-loved house in Suffolk where he lived for the last 30 years of his life. It is these entries which have provided the material for this book. We have selected extracts from the notebooks, including dates when they were mentioned, and have arranged them month by month to form one composite year. Abbreviations have been expanded, but otherwise Roger's words have been allowed to speak for themselves. Alison Hastie and Terence Blacker, July 2008. January. 1st of January. I'm lying full length on my belly on frozen snow and frosty tussocks in the railway wood, blowing like a dragon into the wigwam of a fire at the core of a tangled blackthorn bonfire. I'm clearing the blackthorn suckers that march out from the hedge like the army in Macbeth, the marching wood, threatening to overwhelm the whole wood in their dense, spiny thicket. The technique is to get right down on the ground and go in with the triangular bow saw at ground level, then grab the cut stems and drag the bushes away to the bonfire, which grows like a giant porcupine, bristling with spines that inflict a particular unforgettable ache in the hands and thumbs of the woodman. The bonfire just keeps working itself up to a sudden burst of wildly crackling, spitting flame, and burning a chimney up its centre. Then it dies down, frosting the twigs with fire, but failing to ignite with any conviction because the wood is too fresh, too green and sappy. It is exhausting work, crawling at rabbit level through a blackthorn thicket and sawing through the tough little trunks. You realise why blackthorn was used defensively as a dead hedge by the Saxons. It is the true precursor of barbed wire. I stumble back up the field for a tea break to listen to myself on Home Planet on the radio and fall headlong in the snow by the shepherd's hut. Tracks everywhere in the snow, mostly rabbit, and a single bee orchid standing up with dried seeds in the snowy field. A mauve, misty penumbra across the fields under a duck-egg sky and the glow of sunset. Everything very still and quiet. 2nd of January. Another brilliant, intensely cold morning. Trees and everything enamelled and frosted, sparkling and frilly with frost. Hard to get the car started. Cold diesel and frozen windscreens. Put more antifreeze in the tractor. Then a snow drive over icy roads to see Ronnie Blythe at Bottingham's. We have lunch in the Six Bells in Bures, cod and chips and halves of Guinness, and set off to Arga Fen, where we walk through the ancient mixed woods of cherry, oak, fir, hazel, willow, poplar, ash. Ronnie says all country children were conceived in woods because you couldn't make love in the house. There were too many people in there, children, parents, etc., no privacy at all. So you went to the woods. Ronnie lends me John Macefield's thumbstick, carved by him and later, in Oxford, given to Dr. Bird Partridge, who in turn gave it to Ronnie. Ronnie walks with a bird's claw stick of blackthorn that belonged to John Nash. A bird's foot clutches an egg of wood. Lovely. There are warrens and dips where clay was quarried and then carted off for building, and there's a big wood bank running along the parish boundary. Big ancient cherries with fungal bracelets. Then on to Tiger Wood.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?